Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're taking a look at a ton of new deck lists from Japan featuring Gardevoir EX, a extremely good, at least it seems like an extremely good new card that is going to be releasing in our Scarlet and Violet base set in March. Japan got their Scarlet and Violet base set released 2 days ago, and they're already having results with these cards and able to play these cards. And so we're going to be taking a look at some Gardevoir deck lists today. I was going to do a video where I just take a look at every new list because there's only actually a couple articles on my Japanese deck list site. But there was just such a ridiculous amount of Gardevoir lists that we're just going to do all the Gardevoir lists in one video as its own. Every single Twitter tab here is a different Gardevoir list we're looking at, and there's different versions of them. Starting off with this one, which is kind of a bare bones version, but has some pretty cool things going on, I thought. It's going to have, of course, the 4/4 Curlia line, which Curlia does, of course, have refinement. Discard a card from your hand in order to draw 2 cards, which is just really good. That's part of what makes Gardevoir EX so good, is that you have these options to just draw while you're evolving up into your Gardevoir. You notice this list only plays 1 rare candy. So most of the time you're going to be attacking with Galarian Articuno before you're going to be attacking with Gardevoir. That's kind of, I think, the reason why there's actually 2 Galarian Articuno in this deck. One has the Cruel Charge. When you bench it, you can attach 2 psychic energies from your hand to it. And then for 3 energy, it does 120 snipe. So you can just snipe a 1-pezer off the board, or you can hit, like, if, say, your opponent already has an EX in play, you can just hit it for 120, and then Gardevoir will come in and do 190, and that equals 310, which will actually KO a opposing Gardevoir, which is pretty nice. Then we, of course, have 1 copy of Gallade in this. Almost all these Gardevoir lists will probably be playing the Curlia and Gallade, and the Gardevoir EX, of course. The Gallade, searching a deck for a supporter card, which is just good. I mean, having all these insane abilities like discard 1, draw 2, and search your deck for a supporter on your evolution line, that evolves into the Gardevoir EX, which of course have Psychic Embrace, attaching any number of Psychic Energy from your discard pile to your Psychic Pokemon, and putting 20 damage counters on it for each one. But then we have some unique things about this list. Starting off that the only supporter it actually plays multiple of is going to be Avery. 2 copies of Avery, and then we just have a really consistent search engine with 4 Lava Ball, 2 Ultra Ball, 4 Fog Crystal, and 4 Battle VIP Pass. So the kind of idea here is that why are we playing Research in our deck when we have this broken Curlia that evolves into our broken Gardevoir EX that will be able to draw us cards. We also have 1 copy of the Sky Seal Stone, which is actually just came out for us on the same day that Scarlet and Violet base set came out in Japan, in our Crown Zenith. But it does give the V, it's attached to a V-Star power, that when your basic Pokemon V take a knock on an opposing V-Star or VMAX, you get an additional prize. So you'll notice that the only V in this deck is actually going to be Zacian V from Celebrations, that has Roar the Sword, and that lets you search your deck for Psychic Energy attached to one of your Pokemon. Then your turn ends. And that's just a pretty decent ability going, if you're going first, turn 1, pretty decent. But then the attack, I think I don't know where it's like Storm Sword or something like that. I don't know, but it does 60 damage and 30 more for each Psychic Energy on it, I'm pretty sure. So if you just load Psychic Energies onto the Zacian V, and then use the V-Star power to knock out a VMAX or V-Star, you can take 3 prizes, and it's really not hard to get all those energy into power because you have the Curlias to refine them, you have Ultra Ball, things like that. Another unique thing about this list, it actually does play Cross Switcher, which once again is trying to take advantage of the fact that you have 4 Curlias that will be amassing yourself a really large hand. And then also Arven, a single copy of it, but it does switch deck for a Pokemon Tool card and an item card, which can just help you find those cross switchers. Other supporters we have Cynthia's Ambition, Zinnia's Resolve, Judge, Cheryl is just really good. Clara, and then of course 1 copy of Boss. Something I'm actually really surprised not to see in this is actually Palpad. Palpad, when you have all these 1-of supporters, seems just really solid. Honestly, I don't know why that's in here. And then the last stadium card that's actually going to be new is going to be the Mesogoza that basically gives each player a Pokeball. Flip a coin if heads, search your deck for a Pokemon, a Pokeball every turn, which is pretty decent in this deck. Once again, when you're trying to establish Curlias to draw, we have 11 Psychic Energy. This is kind of a very baseline list with a couple kind of spicy things in it, but overall this is kind of what I would expect to see. Like maybe this 1-of supporters is pretty good. And we have another list here. This one there's a lot of secret rares. But this is kind of actually what I was kind of expecting a little bit. The last one was like pretty standard, but this I feel like is actually maybe even more. Actually, no, this is never mind. This is pretty similar to the last one. You have you actually have, instead of playing the full 4 copies of the Refinement card, you're actually playing 1 copy of the Mirage Step one that I think is actually going to be pretty good in the deck. For a single psychic energy, let's do search your deck for up to 3 Curlies and put them right into your bench, which is just a solid thing. Especially since you only have 2 rare candies. The last one had 1 rare candy, this one has 2. You're not always going to hit that turn 2 Gardevoir rare candy, so just having the option to just kind of tempo and get out this Curly instantly without having to bother evolving them or bother searching them out of the deck. You can just use Mirage Step to just get them right out. This deck does actually play 1 copy of Gengar. I'm not sure why it plays Gengar. I really don't know. Yeah, I don't know why the Gengar is here. His attack is not great. And then we have right here, this is Galarian Articuno, Illustrator Rare, which is for the same reason the last one, just a really solid snipe attack. We have 1 copy of this new Klefki here as well, this card, that when it's in the active base of Pokemon, have no abilities, which will turn off Celebration's Mew, it'll turn off Luminion, turn off Tandem Unit on your Rhydon EX. Bunch of really good abilities to turn off with that Klefki, so kind of having that there. A little bit of disruption if you want. We have Gallade, which of course same one starts your deck for a supporter. Actually 2 copies of Station in this list. And a Radiant Greninja. I don't actually remember if there was Radiant Greninja in the last one. But Radiant Greninja just seems insanely good in a Gardevoir deck. If it wasn't there, just add it. I might have glanced over it in the last list, but discard our energy card from your hand, draw 2 is insane when Gardevoir X wants energy in his discard pile. So Radiant Greninja literally only helps your strategy. There's almost nothing negative about Radiant Greninja in this deck. And this one actually playing 2 copies of Station V. And instead of the Sky Seal Stone, we actually have the Forest Seal Stone here. And this one, instead of the Sky Seal, the Forest Seal Stone that can be attached to the Zation. And that lets you deck for any card. So kind of having that value of consistency with the multiple copies of Rare Candy, the Mirage Step Curly, and the Forest Seal Stone over the last one, which kind of was more like maybe a little bit more greedy with kind of no Pal Pad, only 1 Zation, the 1 Sky Seal Stone over Forest Seal, 1 Rare Candy. So this one looks, maybe this one's a little more standard. We still have, I'm not sure what this stadium is. This might be Mesagoza, but it also could be Jubilee Village. I'm not 100% sure. Someone please correct me on this. I'm not sure. This might be Jubilee Village, but it's probably Mesagoza. It's Jubilee Village, play Mesagoza instead. And we kind of have this same kind of idea of consistency. We have the 4 VIP for Little Ball, but this one actually playing 3 Fog Crystal, which I actually think is a very bad idea. Like, why are you playing 3 when you could just play 4? Fog Crystal is such an insanely good card, an insanely versatile and efficient card. Why not just play 4? It's such a good card. And 3 Ultra Ball, that makes sense. So maybe valuing that. I think the last one only had 2 Ultra Balls, so maybe valuing that 3rd Ultra Ball over Fog Crystal, which actually is valuable information if you want that. Same kind of idea with the supporters lineup here, actually. With kind of the one of, we have the 1 Miriam, which says shuffle 5 Pokemon for discard pile into your deck, then draw 3. So nice Pokemon copy, 1 copy of Clara, 1 Roxanne, 1 Judge. I think that this is right here, Serena, 1 Cynthia's Ambition, 1 Zinuzazov, and then the only card we're having, or only supporter we're having multiple of, is going to be Boss, which does make sense. Bossing is super important. I actually really like the Avery idea from the last one, so maybe you could just add an Avery in here. But yeah, Palpad seems really good when you have all these one of supporters. This list I actually do like a lot. It seems like a very solid list. If you just want to pick up a Gardevoir list, this one seems pretty decent. Then we have another Gardevoir list, of course, but this one actually has some pretty interesting things going on. This one has the same kind of Gardevoir, of course, the 4 Refinement, 4 Ralts, the 1 of the Shining Arcana, and 2 Gardevoir X. No Gallade actually seems like a huge throw to me. Well, actually, maybe not, because your supporter lineup is pretty lackluster. So maybe you're just like saying, I'm just going to draw all my supporters, because you have 4 Avery, which is actually pretty interesting. 4 Avery. I'm noticing actually a lot of these Gardevoir lists playing Avery, which is kind of interesting. Avery is a card that's seen like very niche use in Italian decks up until now, but maybe Gardevoir is just such an efficient card and such a good card you don't need to draw that many each turn, and Avery is just a good option for disrupting your opponent, which seems pretty pretty good logic to me. And then we have the Banette EX in here, which is actually I'm really happy about because I think Banette is a really sick card. We have the 2-2 line of it, which maybe the idea here is that you're just like early game, you're just setting up damage with the Banette EX and being annoying with Avery, and then you're going with Rain Greninja, then you're going ahead sweeping with Gardevoirization, things like that. We actually have the Nest Ball here, Palpad again, 12 Psychic Energy. Seems like a little bit high, maybe. The last one had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Never mind, that's not 12. So maybe 12 standard here. Once again, we have the 4 Fog Crystal, which I really do like. And this one actually playing no rare candy. So I think this one is definitely leaning into the I'm going to disrupt you early game with Banette idea, which I think is pretty cool. Just having this like Avery Banette package here, Avery Banette package, to try and be annoying in the early game or set up your really strong board with a bunch of refinements, building a giant hand. Really, I'm a fan of this Banette Avery combo. We have a next one here. This one once again with the 2-2 line of Banette and over the rare candies. Actually, there might be rare candies. I actually have no clue what any of these cards are. I am incredibly sorry. This one's obviously switched, but not a clue what any of these ones are. So I'm really sorry. I don't know. I'm gonna have to maybe comment on this to try and clarify what these are. But this one playing High Judge, and this is gonna be that I think that definitely boss orders. So we're gonna have 3 Judge, 2 Boss, 2 Avery. Once again, Avery in a lot of these Gardevoir lists. And then we're gonna be having is that 4 Gardevoir EX? No, this is gonna be the character rare version of the Shining Arcana Gardevoir. So we have 2 Shining Arcana, 2 Gardevoir EX. Yeah, like I mentioned, the same kind of idea with the Banette, 2-2 line of Banette, or candy, just trying to disrupt your opponent with the Averys, with the Judge, and with the early game with the Banette, and just coming in later and sweeping with the Zacian. We have Zacian here, right here, this is Zacian, and Gardevoir. This card next to the Zacian, not entirely sure what this is. Oh, this. I think this is Manaphy. Actually, have to watch. Okay, so this is going to be a Manaphy, and of course, Radiant Greninja. And yeah, besides these like 5 cards, I don't know what they are. Seems like a pretty solid list to me. Once again, Avery. Let's see what the supporter is. Not sure what this is. This is not a great deck list photo, I'm afraid. Okay, moving on. Now this is something that I was really not expecting. I was really not expecting Gardevoir Shadow Rider to pick up as much steam as I kind of did this early in the metagame in Japan. We're actually been seeing a bunch of Gardevoir Shadow Rider lists that have been winning and doing well. So that makes me happy. I'm a big Shadow Rider fanboy. So I'm glad to see that combo, or at least Shadow Rider, kind of coming back into relevancy. It's been really bad for a while, which is sad. I played that deck like right up until I could not play it anymore. But we have what looks to be at least a pretty standard version of a Gardevoir Shadow Rider list, at least from the ones I've seen. We have the Radiant Arena in here over Greninja, which I actually do agree with. Normally, I'd be like, no, play Greninja in this deck. You want those energy discard pile, but you have a different way to draw cards. That's, if you think about it, kind of similar to Radiant Greninja. Underworld Door is basically Radiant Greninja for Psychic Energy in this deck. Playing that Radiant Arena I think is definitely gives you value. It's your VMAX's tank. And we have Pumpkin Luminion. We have 4 Fog Crystal, 4 Level Ball, 4 Ultra Ball. So basically just like getting our Pokemon as often as possible. 2 Switch and 1 Escape Rope. This is Palpad. This is 4 Seal Stone because of course you can just give your Shadow Rider a V-Star power because you have no other V-Stars to use. Not sure what this is. Could be a rare candy. I don't really know. We have Miriam, Boss, Cheryl, Roxanne, 2 Serenas on 3 Research, 2 Collapse, which is interesting. You actually don't have that many Pokemon if you think about it. You maybe have 2 or 3 Shadow Riders, Gardevoir, and then one of these 3 support Pokemon in play. So Collapse does seem pretty decent to me. I'm a really big fan of Sarkadab. I'm literally going to go ahead and build it right after this. I finish filming this video. We have another Shadow Rider Gardevoir list. I'm going to start kind of breezing past these because a lot of these are very similar. Once again, we have Serena. We have 2 rare candies instead of no rare candies. So actually, I really do think you don't really need rare candies. At least 2 rare candies in here. I think you can play 1 just because you can force seal it out if you really want it. But Yeah, so we have Sinnoh in here instead of Collapsed. 4 research, which I do kind of agree with more. That you just want to be as kind of Shadow Rider. I think is at its best when it's just in a consistent aggressive deck. At least ever since Gengar Mimikyu rotated, it's at its best when it's just a consistent and aggressive deck. So I do think 4 research is pretty good. We have 2 Nest Ball, 2 Level Ball, and then a Capturing Aroma. This card is actually sneakily good at post rotation. Next, this one has a Klefki in here. It has a Lunatone. That's what this is, the Lunatone. It has Pokestops instead. So once again, like I mentioned, it's kind of, I think, once again, that like Shadow Rider is at its best when it's a consistent and aggressive deck. So we have those 3 Pokestops in there. 3 Switch. I think these are escape ropes. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure these are escape ropes. Yeah, so 3 Switch, 2 escape ropes. Actually, it does seem a little bit high. So maybe these aren't escape ropes. I'm not sure what these are. And yeah, we have 332 of the Curly Gardevoir, and this looks pretty good to me. Next, yes, we have 13 psychics. Actually, forgot to mention the energy counts on here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wait, did I count that right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. Yeah, so we have 12 on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 on this one. 12 on this one. And yeah, so I feel like 12 to 13 is going to be the standard for most of these Gardevoir decks. This one's playing 13, but that's kind of, I guess, a liberty you can take. This one playing 1 rare candy, which I do think is good enough when you have 2 Force Seals to search out if you want. You don't need to get out Gardevoir instantly because you have Underworld Door to accelerate. And one of the main problems with Shadow Rider for a while was that it only does, like, on average 100 damage about on turn 2, which was really bad against the V decks that are just so aggressive. But when we have these EX Pokemon in the format now that evolve from little Pokemon, 100 damage will usually net you a prize on turn 1 against these decks, which is, I think, will kind of boost Shadow Rider a little bit more now. This is playing a 1-1 Banette, which I don't know if I'm going to try that out, but Banette with Banette Gardevoir combo just seems like a kind of a popular thing. Just kind of stalling with the Banette while you set up your board with Gardevoir, get energy discard pile, etc. We were playing 3 Ultra Ball and the 4 Battle VIP for Fog Crystal. We have a Stadium Split here with 2 Sinnoh, 1 Beach Court, and then 3 Research, 2 Boss, 1 Arbin. So this one once again looks like a very straightforward list. This one is playing the Zacian, and this one's actually playing a 3-2 Shadow Rider, which I think in in almost any Shadow Rider deck ever, if you are playing less than a 4/4 line of Shadow Rider, you absolutely throwing just because the ability is so cracked. Like, imagine if Shadow Rider worked for, I don't know, like dark, like okay, just imagine if Shadow Rider worked for any type of energy. It's just to attach a basic energy to your hand, draw 2. Every single deck would play a 4/4. So why aren't you just playing a 4/4 in the deck that it does say attach a basic energy because your only energies in the deck are psychics? So why don't you just play a 4/4? Is kind of my logic there. So yeah, if you're not playing 4/4, I think you're just throwing here. Although we do have the Arcana Gardevoirs, but still, like Arcana is just pretty weak in general. This one going really consistent. Wow, 4 Ultra, 4 Level, 4 Capturing, 4 Fog, and 4 VIP. Wow, this is just like, I'm going to set up my board. And maybe that's why they cut down the Shadow Riders. Maybe they're just saying, I'm just going to have more ways. I'm just going to get them out more often. So yeah, but still, I just feel like you definitely should just be playing a 4/4 line Shadow Rider. But that's 4 research, 2 Ice, 1 Cheryl. Really, really standard, consistent lineup here with the supporters. Mesagoza, really, really consistent list. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 12 energies again. Besides this 3-2 line, this list looks really, really straightforward. If you just want to cut like maybe a Capturing Aroma, and maybe like an Ultra Ball, you could probably get away with those for more Shadow Riders. Now we're going on to Gardevoir Mewtwo and Mewtwo V-Star, which does have the Psych Bird attack for 2 Psychics. You discard up to 3 psychic energy from a Pokemon, and it does 90 damage for each one you discard. So you discard 3, you do 270. The main problem I think with this is that 270 isn't really enough against these new AXs, I guess. It's my main thing here. But I definitely think if you want to play like a 1/1 line of the Mewtwo in like the Shadow Rider deck, or in like these Banette, the list that play like the 2/2 Banette, I think that would be pretty decent too. But other than the Mewtwo, this looks like pretty regular. We actually do have 2 Old Cemetery and 3 Judge. But with like the high, like kind of disruption here with the judge. I feel like this might just be better as like Shadow Rider or um, Banette. But like I said, if you want to play like a bit of Mewtwo, like a Mewtwo package in Gardevoir Banette, that doesn't sound too bad to me. We have a Gardevoir Mewtwo, so we have two Mewtwo's, the V-Star and the Mewtwo V-Union. And in my testing, like in my immediate thoughts, I was like, Mewtwo V-Union just seems insane with Gardevoir. You have this synergy with the Curlias, which already has done well. Curly and Mewtwo V-Union has already done well as a control deck, so now it's an attacking deck, basically. Um, and other than that, yeah, same thing. Like Mewtwo V-Star doesn't seem great, but Mewtwo V-Union I think is actually just amazing. In a Gardevoir deck, like if you just confine 4 slots for Mewtwo V-Union, it would literally never hurt you to have this in your deck. You have such good synergy with Curly. It has such good attacks. Sometimes this card, if you just get in play, can just straight up win you games because it just does so much freaking damage in general. Then we have another V-Star, Mewtwo V-Star. I've already kind of said my thoughts on this. I really don't think the Mewtwo V-Star is great as its own kind of partner with the kind of high 3/3 line. Another Mewtwo. This is actually Arceus, which seems kind of weird to me. Like, why are you accelerating your energy into play? What are you accelerating to yourself? That doesn't seem great. It just seems like you're just kind of wasting time by attacking with Arceus. I mean, I guess you do get access to Starbirth, I guess, but I feel like if you want Starbirth, just play Zacian and the Forest Seal Stone. That's probably better. I really don't know why this here. You have to play double turbos, which are just bad in your deck, because they're not psychic energies. This just seems pretty weak. I don't really like this, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if I were to play this, I would like it more. But I just really don't. These feel like two very clashing kind of archetypes here, with the Arceus and the Corviknight. I don't really feel like they mix together in this way they've done it. We have a Gardevoir Mewtwo list. This one's just has 4 Clef Keys. So basically, I think the idea here is that you're just like stalling with Clef Keys while you're setting up your Mewtwo, and then you just when eventually you just go like Judge, get the Mewtwo to play, accelerate and then attack, or Roxanne do the same thing. I think that's kind of the idea here. And maybe you poke a little bit with Clef Key to set up some damage. Um, it's pretty decent to me. There's going to be Peonia, so yeah, maybe that suggests that this list does rely a little bit more on Mewtwo. So this seems pretty cool. High Clef Key Mewtwo V-Union, just kind of like attacking Mewtwo V-Union. And this looks like a pile. Same kind of idea. I don't really think Arceus and Gardevoir mix that well. I think I get the idea of why you would play Giratina in here, but this looks to me like a Gardevoir deck with bad attackers and bad energy in it. Giratina, Giratina Arceus as its own deck is fine. You don't really need the Gardevoir for that acceleration. Really, you have 4 double turbos already. And just maybe committing these Gardevoir spots to more ways to find double turbo. Like if you I don't know, Energy Lotto, Trekking Shoes might just be better, so you can find those double turbos to attack the Giratina. But because ideally you only need like 1 double turbo per Giratina, because you lost on 1 double turbo and then you get hit, and then you lost on 2 from yourself and then you die. Is kind of my idea there. So yeah, I just really don't think this fits. I mean, I guess kind of the pro of putting Gardevoir in like an Arceus based deck is that you do get access to refinement, I guess. Um, but without the Gallade, which is its own deck, Arceus Gallade is its own deck. I think, or I actually did a deck profile for it in Santa right now, Arceus Gallade. Um, I just feel like if you want to play refinement with an Arceus deck, just don't play Gardevoir and don't play Giratina, because Arceus is, I think, is still best as a out resource deck that spams Charon's Care, and Gardevoir EX and Giratina don't really help with that. Um, that's kind of my opinion. Um, we have Zoroark. This one just kind of looks more like a Zoroark deck than anything, with kind of a Gardevoir in it, which actually is pretty cool. You have 3/3 Zoroark, and then a very thin and Gardevoir. You have 2/2 Curly, and then just 1 Gardevoir EX, which I actually don't hate that much. You have just 4 Bog, 4 Damage Pump, 2 Gengar, um, same kind of thing. This actually seems pretty cool to me. Um, Basically, you just are a Zoroark deck that just has a Gardevoir in it because you get access to trade that can trade away your Zoroarks, or your Gengars. Help you find those damage pumps, those bogs. That seems pretty cool. Yeah. Then we have Lunatone, Lunatone Gardevoir. And the main caveat of Lunatone is that it only has 90 HP, which means you can only actually accelerate 4 energy onto it before it dies. Now you do have 2 Lucky Ice Pop, but Lucky Ice Pop is not really a great card. This just, like, Lunatone is just, I think, too weak of an attacker. If you want to play a Lunatone deck, Lunatone Zoroark just basically accomplishes Gardevoir, but it's only a basic, basically, is my kind of reason there. This seems like, if you want to play, it seems like a pretty cool fun deck, but Lunatone I just don't think really makes the cut as a great attacker for Gardevoir. It doesn't have enough HP. Then we have, this is a, like, it technically is a Houndstone deck, but I really look at this more of a toolbox. We have the Mewtwo V-Union, we have a 1 of Banette, we have 4 Klefki, we have 3 Gardevoir, a Shining Arcana Gardevoir, 2 Pumpkaboos, and then we have the 4/4 Houndstone. And a Houndstone for 2 Psychics deals 80 damage and then plus 10 more for each Psychic Pokemon you discard pile. So, basic idea here is that you have trade to trade away Psychic Pokemon, you have research to research away Psychic Pokemon, Zinnia, Ultra Ball, even a singular trekking shoe. And the idea here is that you're just throwing away Psychic Pokemon. I already kind of made a deck of this, but I actually played Gourgeist in here. I had a 4/4 Gourgeist, and I had 4 Greavard and Houndstone. But when I made that deck, Houndstone hadn't even been revealed yet, and that deck wasn't good enough. But maybe maybe the Houndstone does make this deck good enough. And then, of course, BTV is just really good. Then our last list here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 energy. But we do have a Ditto for some reason. Oh wait, no, this is another Houndstone list. So we have the 4/4 Houndstone, 4 Mewtwo. So this is here to copy Greavard. Gengar, which I guess is a card that is in here. I still don't know why we're putting Gengar in this. I mean, I guess it's like a Psychic Pokemon in the discard pile at the very least, but still. Klefki, yeah, seems pretty decent. 2 Pokestop, 4 Shoe, yep. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the video, guys. If you guys like, don't forget to leave a like. If you guys want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. I do videos like this all the time. My voice is actually really starting to hurt. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get out the other videos today, but I was gonna do another video on the other decks like Miraidon and Gyarados decks that are coming out of Japan already. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the video, guys. If you guys liked it, don't forget to leave a like, and I'll see you guys.